Welcome to the world united. Welcome to the world united.
When this Enlightenment Summit was contemplated to be organized on this August evening, Mr. Krishna Reddy asked me to select a topic. So at that particular moment, exactly at that moment, I was just thinking in my mind about the nature of truth and the nature of consciousness. The paradoxical aspect of truth are the aspects of polarity regarding truth. So I said, my topic will be minus into minus is equal to plus. I did not want to use any word or any type of communication verbatim which can describe the science of enlightenment or spirituality. Because for me, language is a perennial barrier to speak the science of truth. Language is a perennial limitation to make one understand exactly what truth is. The word language came from Latin languor, which means laziness. Language means laziness. What is that? We are all inherently born with certain spiritual qualities, magnificent spiritual qualities. Each one of us. Same with plant and animal kingdom and mineral kingdom. But the later three kingdoms, because of its purity and undistilled, uncontaminated loyalty to spirituality, they retained the qualities of the science of spirituality. But human beings, we the human beings, the word humus came from mud, Latin mud, matter. We are mud, made of mud. Being, a consciousness inside the mud. That's what we are made up of. We the muddy beings, dirty beings, have lost the inherent abilities and have created something called as language. No language is required for any ant to pick up its food, to communicate with his fellow men. They are very much telepathic in nature. They send signals to the cosmos. Why we are not able to communicate in a language of telepathy? Why we use so many languages? There are said 5,000 recognized languages by UNO. Why? Just because of laziness. We are very much lazy to find out the great abilities with which we are all born. Hence we have created the language. So the topic I have chosen is minus into minus is equal to plus. Today I am not going to give you any data or any type of knowledge. Probably at the end of my speech, what Dr. Yugandhar has spoken today, nothing will be certainly retained. My attempt or effort will be providing a new perspective of thinking, to provide a new dimension to the existing modes of thinking. Excuse me. So, what is truth exactly? What is truth? Is it something which we arrive at? Is it something which is born as a product or result after some series of experimentations, after a series of attempts? Is it a destiny? Is it a conclusion or inference after a study that is being undertaken? What is truth? Truth for me is a process. It is not a product, it is a process. Incessant process of becoming, incessant process of unraveling, incessant process of exploring. It is a process. It is never a product to be achieved. But as what is happening in this mundane world, spiritually mundane world, I would like to add a new word, create a new word, new nomenclature. Spiritually mundane, what is that? Everybody is using the word spirituality so much that it has become so heavy. When a question is put, what is spirituality? It is very difficult to answer. What is that? For me, spirituality is a word which has to be replaced with a new word. Probably, for the time being, let me use the word understanding. For me, understanding, the word understanding is superior to the word spirituality. Understanding is never a product. So that makes me to use the word understanding in the place of the word spirituality. Understanding of what? It is not understanding some plant science or science of engineering or science of body. It is the science of one's own self. It is the science of one's own life. That understanding is a continuous process. It can never be concluded. But in the spiritually mundane world, the so-called most of the spiritual masters or spiritual leaders or spiritual book authors or spiritual businessmen, spiritual scientists, all these people have drawn conclusions and promulgating the same, imposing the same with so much of authority as if that is the end, as if that is the destination. Spirituality is something which can never be taught. Impossible. Same with meditation. Meditation can never be taught. The method or tool or technique can be introduced. How can a meditative state of mind can be induced or introduced to any person? It has to happen with self-discovery, with inner exploration. It can never happen by way of practicing a habitual ritual. So, we have to think, are we truly alive? Is our consciousness really holistic? Are whole, are full, complete? Are we here in this physical body? Our consciousness is fractured. We are living with a set of fragmented consciousness. We are lacking the absolute holistic consciousness. Why? Because we don't know what is that. We are not aware of that. We are not making any attempts of exploration. At any given moment, we are thinking of hundreds and hundreds of thoughts simultaneously. When we need to, at this particular moment, we need to listen. Why are we thinking of hundreds and hundreds of things which are not relevant, which are not rewarding at this particular moment? Why? Because we are not qualitative beings, spiritually qualitative beings. He who becomes spiritually qualitative is a man of wisdom, is a man of intelligence. He alone can be called as man who is alive, who has the holistic awareness, whose consciousness is not fractured. So that is probably the meaning and purpose of this cycle of incarnations. Soon after we become holistic in our consciousness, probably I don't think he requires any more physical bodies to continue the journey. Till then, till we become holistic, we need to unravel this hidden wisdom. Truth has polarity. Truth is a paradox. Truth cannot be explained with one perspective. Truth cannot be explained from one dimension. Whenever whomsoever it tries to define truth, that this is truth, as if it is a conclusion, it can never be a truth. It can never be. Truth cannot be explained or defined in a very conclusive way. As I told, it is a process, continuous process, perennial process, never ends at all. So, when our feet are on the so-called path of exploring the truth, probably we are the most truthful beings. So, let us explore the polarity or paradoxical aspects of truth. I would like to give some examples here. There are some people who always appreciate for every trivial thing, very small thing, very insignificant thing. Usually we see in organizations, the organizational leaders go on, keep you on full appreciation, blown out of proportion. For me, flattery or excessive appreciation is an insult. But we unfortunately are becoming victims of this appreciation addiction. We are becoming addicts to appreciation. We need appreciation. If nobody is appreciating, we feel that we are deprived. We feel we are deficient. We feel we have lacuna inside. We are hollow inside. So our true happiness is becoming dependent. We need another stamp. So we go on seeking others' appreciation by drawing attention, by doing some good favors, just for the sake of appreciation. So he who flatters you, he who blows you with appreciation is actually insulting you. And fear, what is fear? Fear most often is imaginary, am I right? It is an illusion. It is a false belief, it is a delusion. Then what is courage? If fear is illusion, what is courage? Is there something like courage? The opposite side of fear? It is a cultivated attitude which opposes fear. There is nothing like courage. There is nothing like fear. Both are illusionary. But we are calling fear as something negative and courage as something positive. For me, both are negative. Even courage. If courage is also called as negative, then what is positive then? For me, something is at the meridian. When there is a spectrum, the pendulum oscillates from courage to fear, different degrees and depths. There is a meridian somewhere in between, which doesn't yield to either fear or courage, which is stable. That is called understanding. When we are fearful of something, what we do, we try to do the opposite. Bring courage, feel courage, all is well, all is well. We are taught to cultivate a new attitude, an opposing attitude. So the more we oppose with something that is positive, there will be a binding back phenomena. The fear will chase you like a shadow. So what is to be done is understanding the nature of fear. Why we are fearful. Even if there is courage, is there any lifespan for this courage? Is it going to fade away? Is it going to die after some time? Does it have a T-half period? Yes, courage has got a lifespan. It has a T-half. It has limitation. So we need to understand our courage levels or fear level. And strike the balance at understanding. Understanding is more important. See the two words, excitement and depression. People who get excited for any appreciation or whatever that they get, they have equal tendency to get depressed. Am I right? If you are very happy about what you get, objectively, that same person have got strong tendency to get depressed in the same degree and depth. A person who gets less excited, minimally excited for what he gets, the tendency to get depressed will be minimal. A person who does not excite at all for what he gets, there is no way that he will get depressed for anything, for what he loses. So, something in between this fear and courage, excitement and depression has to be explored. That is, for me, the truth. And we see living and dying, people who cross 60 years of age, you see suddenly there is a change in lifestyle. Suddenly they start morning walk, evening attendance at the gym, becoming member in laughter club. Why? Is it because of understanding for a new living or understanding for a freshness or rejuvenation? It is fear of death. Fear of death. Their new lifestyle is because of fear of death. So the fear of death is making the person more alive. It is not understanding that is making him more alive. In spirituality we say free will and destiny. What is free will? Choice, everything. At any given point of time we have a choice to do anything. When we use the word destiny, everything is fixed, like a programming, computer programming. It cannot be changed. Everything is against free will. Everything is predestined or premeditated. So the free will and destiny both are wrong. So what is right then? It is choiceless awareness. We have a choice. At the same time we have no choice. This understanding is the true spirituality. We have two words, teacher and teachings. If you see the great spiritual leaders, the greatness of spiritual leader is measured by the size of their participants, size of their followers, size of the activities that they do, size of appreciation, or the size of their own personal image. The more the size of the image of the spiritual leader, the more will be the followers. The more it spreads to many countries, the more the size of the organization. What are we giving importance to? Is it to the teacher or teachings? Finally, it is teachings which are definitely more important than the teacher. We are not remembering our biology teacher. We are not remembering our physics teacher. We are not remembering our childhood teacher who taught us ABCD. But why are we placing so much of strength, energy to the teacher instead of teachings? If we place more importance to the teachings, the spiritual mafia by name of the spiritual organizations will fade away. The spiritual organizations are nothing but spiritual mafia, nothing else. Inculcating, forcing, imposing with great authority a belief system and projecting as if it is the destination, as if it is ultimate, as if there is a final. A path that is laid and just follow the path, which is a highway. And forcing the people to follow the highway and making them biological robots. Feeding their mind with a programmed set of spiritual belief system and calling them as masters or trainers or acharyas or whatever. What is that? Preceptors, mentors, whatever. We are not providing a perspective. We are not providing a scientific temper to our own followers or students to create their own way, to create the path of their own. But we are showing them a path which is already laid, well laid. The true spirituality is absolute less. If you are following a particular path which is already laid, you can never understand truth. Never, no way. You have to create a path. Unless you create a path on your own, you cannot see things as they are. You get stuck up. And you are not even conscious that you are holding a belief system instead of truth. So, in the name of spirituality, what are we actually learning? We are learning some tools and techniques called as meditation methods or enlightenment methods. We are not learning the art of becoming a fire, becoming a spiritual fire, becoming a fire of enlightenment. We are not learning that. We are studying enlightenment like a science, like an art. Not really understanding what is that and assuming that whatever that we have understood is final. What are we actually learning in the name of spirituality? We are simply becoming a spiritualized biological robots. In the name of spirituality, we are actually becoming spiritualized, so-called spiritualized biological robots. We are robotic. A robot teaching spirituality, talking about spirituality, talking about truth. Very mechanical. With all borrowed knowledge. With foreign installations in our brain and bodies. Nothing that is explored from within. Everything is a foreign installations. Everything is borrowed from the vast spiritual market that is available across the world. Paid and unpaid. Finally, all the belief systems we are borrowing in toto is called as spirituality of this lifetime. And the same belief system will be carried to the next life. Huge baggage, huge spiritual baggage. We are moving like donkeys, round and round and round. Our growth is not linear. Our growth is moving round and round and round the same umbilical point. The donkey is moving, but the same vicious cycle, around and round. Not growing like this, no growth whatsoever. And we start from where we stop, as Prem Nirmalji has told. We start from where we stop. In the Odyssey of spirituality, in the Odyssey of unraveling the truth, we start from where we stop. In the next life, if not in this life. So, in the name of spirituality, what we have to do is that thing which has not done earlier. There is a saying, probably a SMS insight I received a few days back. In Japan, when something has not done already, they say, I will do it. But in India, when something has not yet been already, leave it, we say. We don't say, do it, we leave it. Because it has not been attempted. He who attempts that thing which is not attempted already, alone becomes spiritual, alone finds the truth. Then what is the purpose of life? In the New Age spirituality, which is different from the traditional spirituality, we typically see this word purpose of life. There is a purpose of life, but we are very serious about our purpose of life, and that very seriousness is anchoring us down. When we become serious about our purpose of life, when we think excessively about purpose of life, as if we are wasting time and life without purpose, that seriousness is making the shield that is covering the truth. The seriousness is protecting the guard, which is guarding the truth. So, if you ask a goat and twist its ear, what is your purpose of life? What will it speak? It will just bleat. If you ask a crow, what is your purpose of life? It knows only two words, cow, cow. Nothing else. Why there is a purpose of life for human being? Singing is the nature of bird. The purpose of life is just singing. Adding the beauty to the nature is the purpose of a fish. All animals, all that creeps, flies, crawls. But for human beings, it is a very serious affair. We require a tool called meditation. We require some series of techniques. We require a programmed lifestyle for changing the existing idiotic lifestyles. So when we remove this purpose of life forever, when something sprouts, something germinates inside, the load which is adding upon our heads by the name of purpose of life will just shed away. We become one with nature, we become one with animal. Losing our human form, the purpose, if at all there is a purpose, is to lose our human form. We are identifying with our names, with our status, financial status, social status, professional status, or even in spirituality, the size of my image, the public image I have got, number of followers. We are all identified with our titles, names, with human body even. No animal or plant is really identified with its body or mind. But we are identified too much with all these parameters. So when we shed this load of all identification system, then we will see what is called as truth. If you see the history of the world as we know, from this part of millennium, there are so many kings who tried to bring unity in the world by crusades, by waging wars. Alexander, a small king at a very young age, started a big war, trying to conquer the entire world. His aim is to create unity, create uniformity. And there are so many spiritual leaders across the world, instead of being authentic about what they have learnt, they are imposing what they have learnt, imposing with authority, as if that is final. So what is important is not uniformity. We cannot be uniform. Our minds cannot be uniform. We are always dissimilar. We are always different. We can never be the same. But respecting the diversity is called as unity. Tolerating others' difference is called as unity. And having no authority, speaking with no authority, not with the perspective of imposing things, then you become authentic of what you have learnt. So we should be authentic of what we have learnt, not imposing, not authoritative. There is no aristocracy in spirituality. There is no aristocracy. There is no emperor here to be an authority. You have to create a perspective to the people without sense of imposing, without sense of authority. Then only people people understand what is what and what is not what. And we have been searching for the past many lives. In the science of enlightenment, in the science of truth, there is no searching. Please understand this. As we try in many search engines, Google, Yahoo, Alta Vista, we find we have so many search engines in the name of spiritual organizations. No searching. It is sourcing. Get sourced, get connected, reconnected with the last point. Get reconnected. Getting reconnected is understanding truth. It is not searching. It doesn't happen with searching. When you drop the search and get sourced, then you will find the truth which is hidden. See, we are identifying ourselves with so many branches. The tree has so many branches, so many dichotomies, trichotomies, quadratomies. So we are in branches. Come down. Finally, there is only one stem. That one stem is called as willingness to learn. If that is cut, entire tree will be cut. There is only one truth, that is willingness to learn. There is only one strength for every human being, willingness to learn. There is no other strength. All the strengths that we call are branches of this single stem, willingness to learn. If you are willing to learn, everything will come to you. If you are unwilling, nothing will be added to you. So, finally, the message is sourcing, not searching. How we get sourced? By practicing inner silence. I don't say practice meditation. There are so many methods. I don't want to advocate any particular method as superior. What is a good method for you is not a good method for me. Finally, what should happen is inner silence. Erasing the inner chatter and erasing the inner dialogue. Inner silence will source you, will get you reconnected. How? What are the methods of this reconnection? In Mexican shamanism, a seeker or a student is given a task. Just recapitulate whatever that has happened in your life from day one today to your birth. Whatever that you can remember. The psychological images, our mind is a collage of all images. Emotional images, visual images, auditory images, all types of images superimposed upon each other and has become a collage, a complex collage. If we can erase this collage totally, absolutely totally, then we will find this undistilled. We will find this pure 24-karat truth lying like a gem, shining. We have to remove this collage of images by awakening one's intent. Intent means, I told you, willingness to learn. We have to awaken that intent. So all these things happen by developing certain characteristics. One is the need to learn things. The need, we should have a need, a strong desire, a burning desire, a fire, real fire, which is born from within. Unless there is a true fire that is born from within, you can never see things as they are. And a commitment, a lifetime commitment. That is a must to see truth. If you are committed for 1 week or 1 month or a year or one lifetime, we can never see things as they are. There should be a cycle of incarnational commitment, a clear decision about finding out the truth. Then only we can see things. These are the real heroes of the world, not Amitabh Bachchan or Tom Cruise. And the final message is eyelessness. What is that? In the word plus or the holy cross, It is a vertical I. Vertical I is negated. That is the meaning of Holy Cross. The I is to be negated. The collage of the images has to be negated. The two minus should jumble and become plus. That is my message. Remove the I totally with absolute, living with absolute choiceless awareness, holistic awareness. With crystal clear mind. Recently I understood the word alochana. We use the word alochana. Lochana means I. Alochana means seeing things as they are. Not what I wish them to be. Not what I want them to be. Seeing things as they are. That is the real I, alochana. So when we can remove the I, then we are reborn. And as I told repeatedly, choosing a pathless travel, choose that path which has not been traveled earlier, that path which has not been given to you. Create your own path, ruthlessly, shamelessly, incessantly, without any fear of failure, without any fear of reprimand or depreciation, without anybody's stamping, without any expectation, without any result orientation, just enjoying the discovery, just enjoying a new path which was never traveled by you. Choose that path. That path takes you to where you should be. Thank you very much. Thanks for paying attention.